In this short tutorial, we'll be taking a look at the voicing flexibility possible with Viscount's Physis-based organs. I'm going to introduce the features fairly briefly here, but you'll get more details in further tutorials later in this series. With the unprecedented flexibility of the Physis system and a good pair of ears, either you or an expert voicer can design an organ sound that has exactly the characteristics you want. English diapasons or Italian principals are possible, for example, as are French bombards or German crumhorns. Because the system's based on a novel form of sound synthesis, you don't need to buy big or expensive sample sets recorded in different countries to achieve this. The means to achieve the sound that you want is available in every Physis system. Unlike sample-based classical organs which use recordings of specific pipe sounds, Physis uses a recently developed method of synthesis that generates the pipe sounds from scratch, using a process known as physical modelling. It's based on a computer model of real pipes being excited by a flow of wind, so it can respond in a natural way to the small changes in wind pressure that happen, for example, when other pipes are sounding or when the bellows are sagging. Because they're not based on fixed samples and don't loop sections of a note over and over again, the pipe sounds can adapt dynamically so that, say, the startup chiff and attack time can change depending on how fast you press the keys, like a pipe organ with mechanical action. This is the Physis control panel that exists on all Viscount's Physis-based organs. You can control most voicing features from here without having to resort to complicated software in a laptop. If you don't want anyone fiddling with your settings, you can lock them. And by the way, if you're technically faint-hearted, you don't have to touch any of this, as your organ will come set up with a number of preset voicing styles. You can simply sit down and play it. So we're going to look at the available styles. And you can see here that there are 4 named voicing styles, in this case English, Baroque, Romantic, Symphonic, which can't be changed. An expert voicer has already set these up to be useful starting points, particularly for off-the-shelf organs with internal loudspeakers. If you have a custom-built instrument in a church, say, then it will need voicing for that particular building and installation. And there are 4 user-programmable styles that can be set up as you wish, and these initially contain editable copies of the preset styles. At the most basic level, it's possible to choose pipe sounds from a library of voices that have already been set up. Here we're looking at the options for a diapason or principal stop. A whole list of diapasons and principals is available. You can see a 8-foot mantra there. This is an English open diapason. There are a number of those. And there's a Prestant stop. And we can select them in the list and you can hear them if you like. Here's the Prestant. Here's a different diapason. Here's the one that was already set for that stop. And here's a mantra. They're not samples, just different pipe models used by the system to generate the sound in real time. When different pipe sounds are created in the lab, it's possible to change lifelike voicing parameters, such as the diameter of the pipe and the height of the mouth, with effects just like those encountered in physical pipe voicing. The controls available to you have been reduced to a more limited number, as you can see here, so you don't have to be a pipe acoustics expert to make some modifications. For example, you can alter the character of a voice, which is roughly equivalent to changing the diameter of the pipe from a wide-scaled one to a narrow-scaled one, with consequent effects on the tone, from a relatively mellow sound at the bottom end to a bright, chiffy sound at the top. So if we take the character down to -4, we get a fairly mellow sounding diapason somewhere in the middle. And maximum which gives us quite a bright stringy character. You can also alter the amount of wind noise or air noise from the pipe, which makes an important difference to the degree of realism. So let's take the character back down to 0 and adjust the air noise down to a minimum. You can hardly hear any, and we take it up to the top. You can hear it down there, particularly at the bottom end. Those are just a few of the many things you can do to tailor the sound of your Physis instrument. I haven't said anything yet about the numerous tuning and winding options, the tracker touch adjustments, or the remaining voicing parameters, so please take a look at the other videos in this series as they appear if you'd like to know more.